As a Māori entity and as a Māori caring for the environment, I think it's just what we do. It's not something we invented, it's something that has been instilled in us from a long time ago. Tuatahi Farming Partnership was formed by Puketapu 3A Incorporation and Orokara 3. They both own farms that are contiguous to each other. And so they set up Tuatahi Farming Partnership as a way of farming the farms together and sharing resources. Tuatahi Farming Partnership's farms approximately 5,000 hectares total. Effective area is 2,500. We operate a sheep, beef and deer system here, all breeding, finishing. We run approximately 35 to 40,000 stock units, and that's really just dependent on feed that's available coming into the winter. We're based in the central North Island, approximately half an hour's drive west of Turangi. We're 30 kilometres from Mount Ruapehu.
The farm's personality, it's a tough one, but it's one of the beautiful places I've seen so far in my farming career. Ranging altitudes from 500 up to 850. Harsh winters, but beautiful days.
We're close to being an alpine environment, so the winters get very cold. Soil temperatures wouldn't be above 7 degrees for most of winter, so grass growth levels are minimal to nil.
Because of such a short pasture growth window here, you know, it really prioritises where you need to focus your efforts.
So our philosophy on farming is we are really trying to do the basics right, keep things simple. The other part of it is being good stewards of the land. We are extremely lucky to be able to farm, work and tread on the whenua here, so we've got to do that lightly.
It's trying to do the best by the people, by the land. It sort of works in conjunction with each other. It's about the long game.
In farming in the central North Island, our farm's located in the Taupo catchment, and part of being in the Taupo catchment is trying to limit the amount of nitrogen that is leached to the lake.
The rules that were put in place for the Lake Taupo catchment, initially they were viewed as a real impediment, but as we got through the process, we saw that there was some opportunities provided. It meant that we had to look really hard at what we're doing. When we did that, you know, we got better economic outcomes.
Part of our whole role of looking for efficiencies really threefold. The first things that we look at is our feed budgeting. The cropping area has been reduced because we've been better using our feed budgeting tools, and that just allows us to be circumspect about what we plant. When we plant it, it results in a reduction in our fertiliser inputs and nitrogen leaching, and also our greenhouse gases overall, but that's really just a result of being efficient around what we do and doing things properly. The second one has been to retire some of the poorer land classes and planting them in pine trees. On that land class, the return that we can get per hectare out of pine trees is much better than we'd ever be able to do from a sheep and beef regime. The third one is the riparian plantings, fencing those off, planting the riparian verges as we go along.
Over the past 2 years, our greenhouse gas emissions have reduced by 17%, largely due to the retiring more land, planting it in trees, and the changes in the stock mix.
The business has looked at many areas of diversification over the years. The foray into deer was a diversification around the deer's life cycle and breeding cycle, better fitting our feed cycle as well.
Sheep, beef and deer work quite well because we're able to cross graze behind each other, and they all sort of benefit the pasture in a way that they graze. Our lambs are hitting the ground, and then we get a bit of a spell before our heifers and their calve, then leading into our mixed age cows, and then the deer at the end towards the mid to late November. So it spreads the demand on our pasture. We're able to hold things off and tighten them up a lot longer. Sort of fits the pasture growth curve a lot better.
Our philosophy on reducing emissions on farm, we didn't set out to do that per se. The reduction in emissions that we've been able to achieve has really just been a result of tweaking our farming practices to look after the land in a practical way, more than a scientific way in chasing the dollar.
It's all well and good undertaking all these analysis, but it comes back to implementation, and you've got to implement well. You know, we're standing on the shoulders of those that have gone before, and it's just continuing with their kaupapa.
For Māori, there's a saying, toitu te whenua whatu ngaro ngaro te tangata, which means the land will long live after men have gone. That shows the longevity or the foresight that we have for the land and how we want to see it for our generations to come. It's just part of us, who we are. We look after this land.